Hope you're managing to stay okay amid all this weird coronavirus stuff. Hope you're safe, and I hope that you and your family stay safe, and hopefully things don't turn into riots over bleach and toilet paper. I tend to be a hoarder, a little bit mild hoarder, as evident of my kitchen counter here. And so I don't have too many worries about running out of things. I did go to Walmart and picked up some extra meat the other day. I went ahead and gave myself a loan from my savings account because I thought, you know, people are taking or buying up all the junk food right now, which is cool with me, but they are, you know, soon they're going to be getting into the meat stores. You know, they're going to be getting into the meat section. So I did kind of buy some things, and my plan today is I'm going to cut them up, and that way I can have them ready and in my freezer. So if something happens where I live, which there has only been 2 cases in Missouri, one was Springfield and one was St. Louis. I'm about 100 miles south of St. Louis, and and I think I'm about 4 or 5 hours from Springfield. So anyway, they're not near us. Some follow-up information. I had some labs drawn this last week. Yep, I'm in a pajama top and pajama bottoms again. It's Saturday. That's my Saturday attire. So one day I get to just stay home. Anyway, had labs drawn this week at the doctor's office. My cholesterol, they all improved except for my HDL. So the last time I had my lab work done was 2017, so 3 years ago. Before that, they didn't have a printable copy, so I just got the 2017. And then I got the one from last week, so I could compare the two. So anyway, my total cholesterol, my LDL, and my triglycerides, all 3 improved. My HDL, they went the wrong direction, like by 20 or 30. 20, no, I think it was like 18. So 18. But in talking to my doctor, she said that that will improve as I increase my physical activity, which I did start walking the dogs this last week. And my goal is to be able to walk them 5 days a week, but it is raining, and that's why I sound like I sound. I sound like I've got something going on. It's not the coronavirus, though. It's I've had my allergist. When the rain comes, this comes. So anyway, yeah. So the cholesterol improved. My thyroid TSH test, it stayed exactly the same from 3 years ago. Literally no up or no down. What else? My blood sugar was high that morning. Fasting blood sugar was 140. But since I don't have a one from like before when I first started, you know, my doctor wasn't worried about it. My A1C was 6, which is in the, what they call it, a possible, hang on, let me get it. Let's see, is this the right one? Let's see. Okay, so my CBC was fine. My CMP, so she said I had a liver enzyme that was high, but I'm fat, so I'm sure I have a fatty liver, and I've only been eating this way 5 months, so I really don't have anything to compare it to know what it was, you know, before I started. I'm still 288 pounds, so things are still in the process of improving. They're not fixed by here. You know what? I could do this. Hey. Things are not fixed. I am not where I need to be, so my labs aren't going to be where I need to be. But anyway, so my fasting blood sugar was 140. According to some people who eat this way, it's high because not because of what I eat, but because I may not be eating enough, because they say that, you know, your body will turn protein into glucose when it needs it in order to make it run. Like I said, my doctor didn't care. She didn't feel like it was enough to stress over or to put me on anything. Like I said, then the TSH, that was no change. Cholesterol, told you about that. I'm getting to the A1. Okay, A1C, it's 6. So at 6.5, you have diabetes. But right where I'm at now, I'm very smack dab in the middle of increased risk for diabetes. And what would they tell somebody who is at an increased risk of diabetes? They would say, change your diet. They would say, exercise more, lose weight. That's what they'd say. Well, my doctor knows that I'm currently doing that, so what's she gonna say? So, so she said that she wasn't worried about it, and for me to continue doing what I'm doing, and she'll see me next year. I had a CRP drawn, which is, oh, I gotta sneeze, which is an indicator of inflammation, and it was high. It was 4.776. The reference range goes, the top is 0.5, and so I'm 4.3 over the reference range. She wasn't worried about that. I'm not worried about it because I don't know what it was before. So, oh, and my vitamin D is right, you know, is 51.1. I do take 5,000 milligrams of vitamin D every day. So, because I am not a sunshine, go out and enjoy the sun person. That's just not my thing. Some people love it, but that's not me. So, I do take vitamin D. So, yeah, that's why I take it, and that's why my vitamin D would be good. There is vitamin D, a little bit of vitamin D in meat. There's vitamin C in meat. What was it? Calcium, interestingly enough. I quit taking calcium probably in December. And, hang on. My bloody, meaty hand. Let me look on this list here. My calcium. So my sodium is here. The sodium is 139. And normal is 136 to 145. So I'm on the lower range of normal for sodium. Potassium, I'm 4.9, and that's the top range of normal, which, having worked in the heart unit at the hospital, having it on the upper range is fine. I do use no salt, which is potassium, so that's one of the things I use to give my food flavor. So that's not, so that's could be one of the reasons. Chloride, CO2, BUN is fine. So told you about glucose. What's that? Oh, calcium. My calcium is 9.1. The lower range of calcium is 8.4, and the upper range is 10.5. So I'm literally right in the middle for my calcium. And like I said, I stopped supplementing back in December, and it's now March. So there's none of that supplement left in my body. Protein, oh, that's interesting. My protein is 6.5. The range is 6.0 to 8.4. Albumin, 4.1, which is smack dab in the middle of normal. My bilirubin is low, but you know what? I was a when I was born, I had jaundice, and they had to put me under a bilirubin light. So maybe it's coming back in my old age. Sorry. You're going to hear a lot of me blowing today. I'm not going to demonstrate how I cut my meat. I mean, I may do one or two, but all I do. So, okay, for the whole, for this whole coronavirus thing, like I said, I did go and get some meat, and for doing this way of eating on a budget, I did want to show you, you know, ground beef, you can get as cheap as $5 a pound, $4.50 a pound. This that I got chuck roasts, and they're $5.50 a pound. So if you don't want to always have the texture of ground beef, you can change it up. This chuck roast is right here. This is what's the same thing here. So and this was 2 something. So my plan is I'm going to cut it in half, make it into like a thinner steak, and then, you know, in the evening time, this is such a crappy knife. I don't think I own a good knife. That's something I may want to invest in. But anyway, doing this right here, this extra step on a Saturday, is how you save money. Let's see. Let me try one of these serrated knives. Doing this on a Saturday, it can save you a lot of money. So, you know, if you're trying to do this on a budget, definitely look for meats that are different cuts. Look for big roasts. Look for big family size things. You can definitely save money in doing that. So yeah, that's what this is, and that's what those are over here. So I am going to be going through this and cutting up my stuff into a bunch of steaks, and then I will be eating them throughout the next few weeks. How'd you cut your hand off, Terry? Well, you see, I was being cheap and trying to save money, and now that's not even in half. Anyway, I'm going to do this off camera so you're not like having to watch me cut my hand off. And yeah, so this is what I'm going to do today. I don't have to do any meal prep today because it finally worked out. I have 5 meals left. One thing I have done, I've been adding, I think I may have said it last week, I don't remember. I was buying those frozen sausages and eating those for breakfast. The problem is you don't know what's in them. So, there's all kinds of natural flavors and whatever flavors, and so who knows what's in them. So I am going, I got rid of them, gave them to a coworker that'll be able to use them with her family, and yeah, so I am adding hamburgers to my breakfast. So that's what these are. I'm going to set these out, and in the evening time I'll probably fry a couple and take them to work the next morning for my breakfast as a way to increase my protein a little bit. So yeah, that's my game plan. We'll see how it goes. No new weight loss to report, but again, that's not a surprise. I had the never-ending period, and it finally stopped. I think Monday it stopped. So, alright, well, that lovely steak is, that's going to be a steak one night, and I'll probably go ahead and cut off some of this so that way I kind of put with it. Well, genius. I just cut my... I have it on this paper. Why I thought the paper would be good, I don't know. It seemed like a good idea. Look out, dog. It seemed like a good idea at the time. Look at my cutting board. Ay. I've never claimed to be the brightest crayon in the box. So, yeah. You know, I do have a sharp knife. If I don't cut my hand off. Let's just see. So this one is 2.2 pounds. So, you know, this was 10 something. And, which is good because it, oh shit, that's not any better. Get back, dog. Get back. No, go on. Go. Maybe it's serrated. We'll try this one. Oh, it's doing a little bit better. Hey, that's better. Anyway, so on a budget, you know, the 2 pounds for supper, I typically eat about a pound for lunch and a pound for supper. And now I'm adding about ½ pound to a pound for breakfast. So by cutting these in half, that's that's making my suppers right about a pound, which is ideal for what I'm cooking. And I like them thinner. I don't want them to be super thick. So that is going to be good. Like I said, thankfully we haven't had a lot of big issues where I live. Oh, there was some fake post on Facebook that somebody wrote up, but you know, you're going to have those weirdos that come out. So that's no surprise. But, anyway, yeah. So this, I'm just going to make a big old pile of meat on here. And then I'll put it in like 1 pound, 1.5 pound servings. And then whenever it's time to cook them, it will be all set and ready, and they'll be just like regular fancy ribeye steaks. So, yeah. And I could roast them, I know. My problem, I don't like the texture of roasts. Even as a kid, Mom would make a roast, and they were always so stringy. I don't like that stringy texture of a roast. Maybe it's because they're too done. I don't know. But I've never had a roast. Although when I did the, what was that thing I made? It was a brisket. I made a brisket, and that wasn't stringy. But other than that brisket, I have never had any kind of pot roast that wasn't all stringy. So, so yeah, I would much rather pan fry this as a steak than have it as a roast. So, I think I told you I wasn't going to do this on camera. I wasn't going to make you suffer through, but yeah, sometimes I lie. And I'm cutting them in half, so that'll be a good little steak there. Yeah, you may have to beat it a time or two just to kind of get that fat to kind of break down a little bit, but Yeah. Oh, and these are done. I don't have to cut these. I had found some family ribeyes that were inexpensive. Family serving of ribeyes. And there were 3 in there. So maybe what I can do, there were 3 in there. I think they were each about 3 pounds. So I think what I'm going to do is put them in, put one of those in a Ziploc and then add a little piece of that other steak. So that way I have the option to make just a little bit more than a pound. Let's see. Yep, that's 3 pounds, 3.3. So what I'll do, I also stocked up on these when I was at Walmart. They had these, I think they're like $2. You get one of these and then a short one. Yeah, so you got a big one and a little one. So I bought like 2 packages of these little jobbers. And that way I can, you know, if I cook steaks every night, I use one of these every night, and so it's a lot easier if I can get a clean one every night. So okay, so yeah, there's a pound of ribeye right there. And then if I can get down to where the little thin, yeah, I'll put this with it. Let's see how much that is. Where'd my scale go? And I don't weigh things because I'm not trying to get, to control how much I'm eating. This is just so I can see 1.10. It's just so I can just, for grin, see how much something weighs. Let me take this little chunk off and see. All right, now what are you? 1.9, that's fine. That's a little over 1.5 pounds. The problem, I just don't want to get too much in. You know, if I fry up too much and then I'm just not hungry, and then it'll be left over and then that's a waste. So I'm trying to eat up all of my pork. I had bought a pork loin the other day, and I bought come here, something little. There we go. I had bought a pork loin, so I potted that up. Yeah, it's 1.8. So I'm kind of trying to see how my body would do if I just had beef. No reason. I just feel more satisfied after I'm done eating when I eat beef. I feel satiated all night. I'm not hungry I don't wake up in the middle of the night hungry. So, yeah, so I'm trying to kind of eat up all the pork steaks, and I got some chicken in there that I want to eat up, and so, yeah, I'm trying to kind of eat up some of that stuff and see how I feel, because, you know, there's no right or wrong to this. There's people that live off of pork, and there's people that live off of beef. There's people that live off of, I don't think they live off chicken. I haven't heard of anybody living off chicken, but that's an option, I guess, if you add a lot of fat to it. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to try more of a beef kind of beef steady way to go and see how that goes. So anyway, I'm gonna, like I said, finish packaging this up. The other steaks that I bought were individual. Some of them, hang on, let me look and see. like this. This is 2 pounds of ribeye, so I can cook that up one night. This is chuck eye. I never bought that before, but it was the same price as ribeye. So that's 1.16 pounds of chuck eye. So I thought, well, I'll try that since I was stocking up on ribeye. And well, I looked up and that little battery's almost dead thing was up. So I don't know when it cut off. But what I will say is these are all about £1 in this family pack. And I'm still adding these. I bought these. I'm going to let these defrost and I'll cook a couple for the next morning for my breakfast. So I think I have like 5 or 6 of these in the freezer. So I'll pull them out. I don't have any food prep to do this week. Just the cutting of this beef, and that's it. So that's my game plan for the week, and that's how you can do this on a budget. Buy chuck roast and cut it down into steaks. And there you go, guys.